Hello, this is Joe Price. I'm the director of the BYU Record Linking Lab, and thanks for helping us with this project. We're trying to identify all of the U.S. soldiers who died in World War I and putting them on the tree so that people can discover how they're related to these American heroes. And we've been using lots of different approaches to identify records for these men and link them to the tree. And one of the ways that we're going to be drawing information for these people is by using public member trees from Ancestry.com. So the way to get to the data is you type bit.ly/RLL volunteer. Okay, and then once you're to the screen, we're going to be doing task number 2 under World War I U.S. casualties. There's an instruction sheet, but I'll be just walking you through the steps verbally right now. And let's just click this data. This is going to take us to a Google Doc that has the people. And now we can you can basically come down and look for a blank space. What I'm going to do is I actually want to look for someone with my last name, so I'm going to type in Price, because it's still loading the records. But oh, actually, let me get down here and try that again. Okay. Okay, so actually here is someone with my last name, so I'm going to be doing Bryant W. Price. So I'm the volunteer here, so I'm going to put my name in here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can find Bryant W. Price on a public member tree on Ancestry.com. Let's go to Ancestry. Okay, and we're going to hit search, public member trees. So we're going to put in the name Bryant W. Price. And then actually the only information we're going to put in here is that he died in 1918 in France, and we're going to make that an exact. Okay? And we know other things about him that we know he was living in Alabama, but let's just use that for now. So we're going to hit search. Okay, so as come down here, you notice we have a John W. Price who died in France in 1918, and then we have a Bryant W. Price who died in 22nd of July, 1918. Could be our person. Let's take a look. Okay, so here we have a public member tree where we have parents, some census records, and actually right here it says killed in action World War I. So this is definitely the person we're looking for. And then we can also just check to see if there's a connection to Alabama. So here we have him living in Texas. Here we have him living in Texas as well. So if you remember back to the sheet, he listed his hometown as McKenzie, Alabama, though this is still probably our person, and we can click on other records to see if there's any connections to Alabama, but in this case they might have just gotten his hometown wrong. So what we're going to do now is, this is definitely one of our soldiers who died in World War I. So let's add him, check to see if he's on the tree, and if he's not, we'll add him. So now we're going to log into Family Search. Okay. Now we're just going to go to any person on the tree just to get started, and we're going to hit Recents, Add Unconnected Person. Now we're going to put in Bryant W. Price. He's a male. And now what we're going to do is just pull the information from his public member tree right here to see if he is on the tree. There we go. And then we have his death date as well. Put that here. Forgot to put France as his, most of the soldiers in World War I died in France. We're going to hit next. Okay, so here we have our person right here. So do you see how he came up? So we're going to click here. We're going to hit person. And so in this case, here we have him, and we're just going to put in that he died in France, so we can come back and find this record later. Okay. Okay, so here we go, and then I'm just going to copy the code and drop that in right here. That's the PID, and then this is the public member tree. And let's just see if, so here we have him in the 1910, 1920. Here we come down here, we have the 1900, we don't have the 1910. Let's just add a record to him just as a way to make the tree a better place. So Bryant, and then here he's living in Polk, Texas. We can come back over here. We're going to hit Family Search. Okay, so here we have, let's zoom in on the 1910 census. Okay, so for whatever reason it's not coming up here, so let's try to make it as similar as possible to this record. So here we have Bryant Price, 1897, Texas, and Polk, Texas. Okay, so we're just going to take that out, 1897, Texas, and we'll put his residence as Polk, Texas. Okay, and then we'll update that. Okay, so here we go. Here's our Bryant living with, okay, let's check this out. What's interesting here is it actually has his mother listed as Hillary, even though that's his dad. So it looks like the gender of his father got miscoded. So we can fix that. And then here we have an O. Milton, which is going to match up with that. So you can see that sometimes indexing errors can sometimes make it hard to link these up. And so we're going to link all those up. And now we actually want, so notice that I can't pull Hillary there, so we're going to change. We're going to put Hillary on this side. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to change, and we're going to put Hillary on this side as well. So this was actually going to allow us to then, even though they have the different gender, we're going to be able to connect those two together. Okay, that's interesting here. And this might be one where I'd come back and do a little bit more research to understand why the names aren't matching up just right. But we'll just attach that for now. Okay, so we are now all done with Bryant. So let me now move to Thomas Price. So now what I do here is I just go back to this screen. I'm going to just change that to Thomas T. Everything else stays the same. I'm going to hit search. Okay, so here we have Thomas D. Price. Thomas D. Price. Oh, but he was born in Australia, so that is not our guy. It's Staffordshire, England. So everyone else here were not from the United States, so we're just going to put a dash there, and this will happen a lot of times. So let's go, and now we're going to just change the name, and we can do that right here as well. So here we're going to put in Carl J. this time, and then we'll click down here and hit search. Okay, here we have a Paul J. Price, born in England. Okay, so those are not our guy. Okay, so here we have Pasquale. And again, our goal here is just to kind of move through and grab those things which are low-hanging fruit. Okay, so here we have, and then sometimes when we're looking for one, now this is New Jersey, so here we have a Kenneth Ekman Price. Let's just see if he shows up on our list. For whatever reason, we don't. So there are people that died. So the book we're using is the Soldiers of the Great War, and so for whatever reason, this particular soldier is not showing up as one of our dead soldiers. Let's actually maybe just leave a, we'll just leave a little note over here to the side. We'll just go, okay. Okay, so Pascal wasn't there. We got Willard. So let's try Willard now. Okay, here's Willard T. Price. Okay, so this is matching up. This guy was born in the United States. And we can decide which one of these we're going to go off of. This one has the most attached sources. Okay, but it looks like they're all about the same. Now here's Willard Thawley Price. Okay, Maryland, it's lining up. Okay, so we're going to bring this over here. And again, we're going to go recent, add unconnected person. We're going to put his information right here. He's a male. He's deceased. We're going to grab his birth date, put that here. We're going to grab his birthplace, drop that here. You can actually get the standardization on the date. Okay, now we're going to do the death date. And then finally, here we have the death place. So let's see if this one exists on the tree. Okay, so here we go. We look down here, and now let's remember his parents' names are Alfred and Gertrude. So let's see if we have an Alfred and Gertrude here. Okay, do you see how we're not finding a good match? We're actually going to create a new person. Now, this means he's not on the tree, but it's very likely that his parents might be on the tree. So what we're going to do now is just attach sources, add additional family members until we crash into the tree. So here you can see we have this 1900 census record with Alfred and Gertrude. So we're going to attach that record. Okay. Okay, so we're going to attach, and now we're going to add the father. So we can come over here. We have Alfred Allen Price. So let's grab that information right there. Oops, back to source linker. We're going to add the dad. Okay, and then here we have John F. Price and Miranda. Let's just check to see if that lines up with our John F. and Miranda. Okay, so we do have a match. So we're going to select that. Okay, now that we have that, let's actually go and check out the dad, because we know he's on the tree, and then what we're going to do is see if we can get the rest of the family there as well. Because really our goal here is to make it as easy as possible for people to connect to here. So here we have Willard with Alfred. So we could put in some more information about Alfred, but let's actually put in his mom. His mom is Gertrude Work. And so we can come back here, and what we're going to do is just do it right back in the context of the census record so that we can link these people in as we go. So here we have Gertrude, and we know that her last name is Work, so we'll make that change. We can see if there's other things we know about her. We have her death information here, and so we'll add that in. Okay, and then we also have her death place, and so we'll add the, and might as well, while we're at it, get the exact birth information that's provided in this. Okay, so we're just adding in information from this public member tree, which has lots of sources, and there we go. Okay, so now Gertrude is part of the family. Now she wasn't on the tree, but we can check later to see if she's a duplicate, and then we'll just add in the other family members so that we can have the complete family here. The more connection points that we can have between our US soldiers and other people will be really helpful, because one thing we know is that most of these soldiers did not have children, but many of their siblings did. So anything we can do to improve the chances that someone can connect in as a relative will be good. Okay. So now there we have connected all those in, and let's just copy the code now for our original person, and we're going to put that here, and let's go back to our original tree, and we'll put that in right here. And feel free to add other information, make it as complete as you want. In this case, since the father was already on the tree, we decided to stop there. So let's just do, maybe do one more example. Okay, so let me start from the very beginning. So we hit search, public member trees. Okay, then we're going to paste in the name right here. Then we're going to put in the death date right here, and we'll type France. Okay, and then just make the year exact, and then we're going to search. Okay, so here we have Theodore S. Price, Mississippi, and here we have Orleans. Okay, so pretty close. So here we have one with photos. Down here we have one with more sources and photos, so let's go for this one right here. Okay, so here we have Theodore S. Price. And just to keep things clean, I'm going to delete a couple of these windows here at the top. Okay, so remember the steps are hit recents, unconnected person, bring in the information. Okay, and then we're going to bring in the information from this public tree. Oops. Okay, we've got that, and now we're going to put in the death date along with the country France. Okay. Okay, and here we have, you can see that our person is here on the tree already, so we're going to click. And then sometimes it's helpful to look down here and see if there's any duplicates, because we could always merge those. Okay, so let's go to this person, let's just kind of clean up the name, capitalize the name and fix the spelling, just so it'll be easier for people to find in the future. Okay, and then we also know his birth dates, we'll throw that in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's just see, and now notice that now that we fixed the name, we have a new source coming up, and so we had the 1910 for him. Let's go just link the 1900. And sometimes as we're attaching additional records, we might find duplicates of the person. We can merge those and clean this record up. Okay, so let's attach this in. This is always a great opportunity to add additional family members. So here we have a brother and some sisters. We'll just attach those. But I think that's about all I want to show. And so just remember the last step is to just copy the code for our person, drop that here in the PID column, and then grab the public member tree and copy that here. These will all provide important information. But thanks for helping with this, and feel free to jump in anywhere on the sheet you want, and just use the volunteer column to put your name so that other people know what you're working on.